Hello again. So here's a little bit more detailed daytime video of my Harbor Freight tailgate lift. And as you can see, it's mounted to the truck, and it mounts in your receiver, your hitch receiver right there, and it has these two legs. These legs are right now, they're folded up in the traveling position, and the lift platform itself is folded up in the travel position. So this is how you would drive with it attached to your vehicle. You got a license plate bracket. You would move your license plate to there, and you have a pendant control, and it just plugs in right there, and then you have your power connection. And like I said, here's your two legs, and they're in the folded up position. And I'll show you later, when you're lifting, you're gonna swing these legs down, and they go to the ground in order to provide support to stabilize the whole thing. And you may have noticed this piece here. This comes with it, and this piece is to stabilize the whole thing. It's like a tight fitting yoke that goes over the stub, and it takes up the slop, because your receiver hitch, there's clearance in there, and there's room, there's slop in there where this can wiggle, and this takes up all the slop. You can see there's two bolts. There's a bolt right there, and a bolt right there on either side, and then so you slip this yoke over it, you tighten up these two bolts, and that takes up the slop, so that way this thing, it can still wiggle a little bit, but it takes away a lot of the wiggling, so when you're driving down the road. And that's really what that's for. The legs will support it when you're lifting, but it's for when you're driving down the road. It takes up all the slop out of that, so it's not wobbling around on you so much. So here's the you'll take that pin out, and you'll swing this down, the lift platform down. One of the things I want to talk about, I had to modify this thing. I picked it up like over 20 years ago, and in order to get it to work on this truck, well, every truck's different, but you've got a situation where you've got your dimension between this point and the edge of your tailgate when it's swung down. And in order for this lift platform to end up even with the tailgate, when I first got it, it wasn't anywhere near even, didn't go high enough. So anyway, what you see here is I made extensions for it, and what I made those extensions out of is actually, when I originally bought the thing, these two arms here, you got one here and one here, and they're made out of a piece of rectangular tubing with a piece of round tubing stock that's welded to the end of it, and one of them was welded on crooked. This weld here, the thing was crooked, and it wasn't going to go on. It wasn't going to assemble. So I called them up and told them I needed another one. They sent me another one, and then so I had the third one that was no good. Now I got two good ones that fit right. So that's what I made these extension pieces out of. You can see they've rusted now from sitting outdoors. They're still solid, but I welded that on there. This is a hunk of this. So I just took a hunk of this, the bad one that I had extra, and I cut a hunk off of it, put it there, and made an extension out of it. So on the front end, the extension is a little shorter. I just put that in there, and there's a hole there, and that gives me a little more height. But this one had to be higher because it wasn't going to match the truck. So I had to use the whole cross section, plus I put another piece of tubing on the top of it to get the height. And then this one here could not be the same height. This is going to be the end. This is how much height I had to add in order to get it to match up with the tailgate. So I added that height there. That's probably about a good 2.5, close to 3 inches there. I don't know. Let's see. I got a tape measure here. So yeah, I had to add about 3 inches. Okay, so that's what happened. The doggone platform actually came up 3 inches too low. It wasn't even going to match up with my tailgate on my particular truck. That's just how it is. And so I had to raise that up. But if I raise this up the same amount, the extra 3 inches, then it's too high and this end doesn't reach the ground. So I had to compromise. So what happened was, you know, it's got a little bit of tilt to it, and well, you'll see. I'm going to move this transmission here in a minute, so I'll swing this down and get it all set up, and then I'll come back to you. But I just wanted to show you what I had to do, okay, in order to make this thing match up with the back of my truck. It just wasn't going to happen unless. So what I'm saying here is this thing ain't plug and play. You will have to, you know, it might match right up with your truck, or it might not if you get one of these, and you might have to do some tinkering with it. So that's what I had to do. Okay, so I'm going to go now, and I'll come back and I'll have it ready to lift. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I have the lift platform down, and I've got the load sitting on there, and I wedged this board in there so it can't roll away easy. Keeps it from rolling away. And then so yeah, this is what it looks like when, you know, this is the compromise I had to come up with. It's got some slope to it. I would have to, I don't know, re-engineer the whole thing, but I just compromised really quick to get it to where it will reach the ground. And like I say, it's got to be sitting with some slope on it, and you have to, you know, kind of steady the load. You can also strap the load to it, and they actually gave me, it came with these straps. I've never used them so far, but I have them. That's why they're still in the plastic. So you get a couple of nylon tie down straps, and you know, it's got holes, so you can strap the load to it if you need to. And then the power hookup they have, I made this power hookup myself, and it goes through the chassis, and I have a place underneath the bumper where I can stow it. But what they originally gave you was they gave you a really long cord, and you know, it plugs in right there, and then here's where your pendant plugs in. That's kind of like an XLR connector, and you know, so there's your pendant to control it, and then they just give you a really long ass cord, and they just expect you to run the cord all the way to the battery. You do have to have, you're going to need to go directly to your battery. So what I did was I just ran a cable, and it's right here. It's 10 gauge, and I think I got a 30 amp fuse in there, and it's 10 gauge cable. And I just ran a positive connector through the chassis, and I picked up a ground connection at a suitable place at the rear of the chassis, and that gives me a quick power hookup. But what the thing comes with is they expect you to just open the hood and run a long ass cable that they give you and hook it up with alligator clips. So that's what I did. So anyway, now I'm ready to lift, and I'm going to open the tailgate here, and I'll grab the pendant, and here we go. And so there you have it. And now from there, I just have to, you know, I might have to get a little piece of plywood, bridge the gap. It, you know, I'd have to tinker with it to get this gap really tight. But you don't want to mess up the back of your tailgate anyway. So I'm probably just going to get a little piece of plywood and bridge over that, and shove the load in there, and there you go. So anyway, yeah, that's my Harbor Freight tailgate lift. As you can see, I've got the I don't know if I talked about this, but I've got the legs folded down, so they're in the lift position, and that's what keeps the whole thing stable, so it won't rock or move at all. And like I said, when you're ready to travel with the thing, you fold those legs up, you swing at this joint right here, you take that pin off, and that enables you to swing the lift platform upward, and then you're in the travel position. And so there you go. That's how the thing works. Thanks for watching. So long.